Hey y'all, this is Alex, and I'm here to kind of give a general rundown of the progress for the RNG Manip route for Etrian Odyssey 1. I'm going to do a few of these since I'm about halfway done with like playtesting everything and making sure everything works. I'm currently finishing up Stratum 3. I just got the map making quest done last night and this morning, and I've tested through Triangle, and that boss works, but there's some drops that I'm having trouble with earlier before that. But I'm just gonna give a general like rundown of everything that goes on in the run that works thus far in the notes. So I guess we'll start with the beginning, which we have the emulator seed and the console seed, which I haven't tested yet, but I'm gonna eventually get all the console seeds to be accurate. And I think all the seeds that Sora released are the console seeds from what I've been testing, and I've had to either like add 5 seconds to that seed or subtract 5 seconds, depending on whether adding or subtracting works better, and gets me whatever seed I need. Again, I'll make a description on like how I found the seeds and stuff later, but these are correct, or at least the emulator seed works here for your first seed. Next we have the map making mission. I have it all kind of laid out here. If you don't really understand like the map, it's all pretty easy. This one's pretty fucking free, and yeah, that's easy. The first map is fine. Then we get into Stratum 1. I have all the skills and stuff. We have the FOE encounters, what you're supposed to do here. These all work after the second FOE, which is the second Rage Lope on your first visit, or well, really your second visit to Stratum 1, but your first visit in B2F, you have to do Ward Chime, and then you head up to third floor. Third floor, you just go skip the first FOE, talk to the next FOE, fight the next FOE. Oh shit, we gotta go on to the next BGM. Alright, so yeah, you escape from that FOE, talk to Ren and Tlachka, leave, go accept the mission to fight Fenrir. I have this all annotated in the little comments section here. Just showing what you gotta do. All of this is correct. Now, the drops I did end up getting to work. So when you're taking right here at the take spot, you have to take exactly 8 times or it'll screw up your RNG and you'll have to reset, which is a bummer. Yeah, and here's Stratum 1's pretty fine. Here I'd say don't take more than 8 times. Alright, so you go fight the wolf like right here, or right here, and then you just continue on, get those 2 treasures. Your encounters should be fine if you took only 8 times. Your encounters get screwed up like right around 3A. That's where your encounters start to become bad, when you screw up the taking. Yeah, the rest of the Stratum is pretty self-explanatory. You just kind of follow the notes. And then you skip the boss, go back to town, change your formation, and then grind a bit using that. Alright. Then you buy some stuff. I have pretty much everything shown, so if you don't understand the Japanese, you can at least look at this and see, oh, I have to buy this or sell this. And I'll eventually update it so that we'll have like the end counts for everything, but those might get like screwed up a bit, so I'll have to do some more testing. Damn, I'm running out of songs, man. Alright, so, and then you go out, you save, you reset RNG after equipping and doing all your skill stuff. Then you go fight Fenrir, then you have to go do Fenrir again by sleeping 14 times, you do that. It's pretty self-explanatory, it's pretty easy to follow. I'll touch up like what you have to do eventually, but that's not my main focus right now. My main focus is just kind of getting everything to work. So, Stratum 2, I guess. We'll start talking about that. Alright, so Stratum 2, this is your first Stratum where you're going to make heavy use of Stalker, because you give Survivalist 1, Stalker 10. Also, you give all of your Survivalists Ambush, so you can get like a bunch of preemptives to escape from, because Stratum 3 is where we're gonna really see that, but Stratum 2 there's not too many encounters. I think there's like 4 or something like that. Currently with on testing, your first go through B6F into B7F, your encounters will probably get screwed up. I need to work something out with that eventually. As long as none of your characters die, then it's not a huge deal, since you're going to reset RNG right after this anyway. You get to B7F, you warp out, you accept the mission, then you go back through B7F using Stalker. You get the Wyvern Egg, and then you're going to reset and start with Seed 2. So Sora didn't end up releasing Seed 2, so I had to go find Seed 2 myself. Although, I just kind of like, basically what I did to find Seed 2 was I counted how many seconds it took for him to change his internal clock on his 3DS, and then so I pulled up Live Split, or W Split, to do that, and I saw 20 seconds, and considering that pretty much all seeds, when you boot the game from console, it's going to take a little while until like it actually you know, boots with the internal time changing the TRN value. So I tested like 7:45:19 because he did it like 19 seconds in, and that didn't work. So I went 5 seconds up and did 7:45:24, and that ended up working. So that's pretty much what I did. I didn't have to test many seeds for this. I just kind of put it off for a while. So you go report your results, and then you make your way back through Stratum 2. That's pretty easy. Stratum 2 is pretty simple. You just need to get the shortcuts on B8F at 3B and 1C, so you can, on your next time around through Stratum 2, you can just go through that rather than having to travel up and down floors a ton like you do in this visit. Here on B10F, you have to do a little bit of movement to ensure that you can just make it through the entire way. At like 3B, you want to do this movement, and then you'll get an encounter, and then once you get out of that encounter, you'll go backwards into an FOE, get a preemptive and escape, then re-stalker, and then go through the rest of the stratum. You'll get 2 more encounters, both of which you just escape from, and then you get the shortcut at 3E. Then you warp out, adjust your party, accept a mission to slay Cernunnos, and you put TP up and parry 5 on your protector, and put Volt on your first alchemist. Now you just go through, get to Cernunnos, and as long as you you heal at the waterfall so that your entire party's alive on the 8F, then you go fight Cernunnos. Pretty short fight, not too hard. It's very repetitive, but I've screwed it up a ton because I suck. But you know, whatever. It's pretty easy though, and your protector will get all the experience from that fight, which is good. You want that. If that doesn't happen, then the run's over. You heal everyone, and then you make your survivalist party with Alchemist 2, and go do the mapping quest. Now the mapping quest, ooh, I have to get more background music. What the heck? Ah, jeez. There we go. So, let's see. The mapping quest is really annoying, and I did like extensive testing with this. You literally have to walk everywhere, and eventually I'll do a video guide showing it off, but you have to walk pretty much everywhere. There's one space like right here that you don't have to walk in. It's a door that leads to an FOE. You don't have to go there. You just have to walk in the first tile of the 2 tiles up to that door. I'll go into more detail about that when I make like a guide about it, but this one's a doozy. Map making quest 2 is no joke. So you do that. Then you're going to, once you get the message saying that you did a good job mapping Stratum 1, or not Stratum 1, BF 11, or B11F, then you're gonna drop down to B12F at like A7, I believe is where it is, or A4. And you'll do a little mapping there, then you're going to change your party, buy some stuff, and then reset RNG for C3. And you're going to go fight a few FOEs on... First, you're going to fight the Blood Ant on floor 11, then Blood Ant and Servant on B12F. You'll make your way up to what? Fucking 2C, and you'll do a little bit of movement there, and all the while you're continuing to map. So again, FOE encounters with mapping is no fun, but you have to do it or it's slow. And you're gonna escape from a Blood Ant encounter so you can continue on, make your way up to the Royal Ant Chamber. And once you're done with that, you will either get a message saying that you did a good job mapping floor 12 right after you get out of Royal Ant's Chamber, or you'll have to walk towards the stairs. From most of my testing, you have to walk towards the stairs and then warp out. It doesn't really affect anything. The seed that I found that works with this gives you there's an extra encounter right before you get to Royal Ant's Chamber, but that's not a huge deal because you get a preemptive and you can just escape all and get out of it, and you'll still have like a good amount of, like, it gives you a very high danger value after that, so you can just walk back to the stairs and you'll finish the quest. Then you have to go report and accept the what's it called? The Co-Triangle quest or mission, Ooh, I gotta find more music. So that brings us to Seed 4, which is the one I'm currently working on. Well, kind of. There's one thing I'm working on this, which is I've tested 835.21, doesn't work at all. 835.26 doesn't work on emulator. 31 works for 835.31 works for everything except for the chopping point on later on. But basically what this does is it allows you to skip Roilant and have a good fight with Cotrangle, which is really good. So basically the Roilant skip is you go... It's pretty simple. You just encounter the Blood Ant that's nearest to you. Then you basically use that. A Blood Ant will get behind you, and after you escape, you'll be on top of it. You're gonna go back, and then make your way to another Blood Ant. It's gonna take several turns. It'll take 3 turns, and then you'll escape turn 3 again. You're gonna face north. Get into since you're on top of an FOE, one movement will get you to encounter it. You get a preemptive, so you just escape from that, and you are now on top of Roilant, so you can just move back and be behind Roilant. So that's how you skip Roilant. It's really useful. You don't have to fight Roilant. It's really nice. Then you go to B13F, and that's a pretty easy one. You just kind of move around. It's very zigzaggy. It's probably the best floor of the Stratum. I don't know. That or B14F. Although B14F's giving me trouble, so I don't know. So B14F is where the main problem I have with Stratum 3 is now. No longer the mapping quest, since I figured that out. But the chop point that's at 7B on B14F gives me the wrong drops. You're supposed to get drops so you can get some stuff in the apothecary, and I'm not getting those drops. So I have to figure out what manipulates that so I can get the drops correct, and we can be done with Stratum 3. Because I've tested Cotrangle, and there was some way I got the RNG back on Seed even after getting the wrong drops, and I was able to test Cotrangle with these strats, the 28 turn fight, and it works, so that's good. So the only thing I have to fix really is this chopping point right here, which I'm not getting the right drops for. So other than that, Stratum 3 is pretty much done, and then Stratum 4 is up next, I guess. I don't have really much else to say. I haven't done much testing of Stratum 4 yet, so it's on the plate after I finish up the end of Stratum 3. Anywho, I guess that's all I really had to say. Pretty much, this is what I've done, and feel free to ask any questions, like either in YouTube comments or when I'm streaming, because pretty much I've been like solely streaming Etrian Odyssey. So, like, again, if you have any questions, just feel free to hit me up. I'd be happy to answer them. And hopefully I can get another one of these videos out soon, explaining what I'm doing and shit. Anyway, thanks for watching, y'all, and I will see you later.